everybody, and welcome to Middle Aged Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Daz, and with me is my trusty co-host, Phil, a man who should be absolutely ashamed of himself for putting us through this week's movie review. Yeah, we'll get to that, but thanks a million. How are you doing, Philly? You well?
Yeah, pretty good, apart from our technical issues. This is like we planned to record an hour ago, but you were late signing on, and then I took half an hour trying to get my fucking switching laptops and fucking everything, trying to get it. Jesus Christ. But now I think everything is up and running now. I just cross
Live TV,
cross
man.
your fingers.
Live TV.
yeah. How are you getting on yourself, man?
Good, yeah. Pretty decent weekend. Was out, got in the run up to Christmas. Get to go to Smith's a lot. Brought Alma along to Smith's.
Have you spent much? Good Friday?
No, yesterday was
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday. Not for me, nothing for her. No, she gets like one trip to go around. You can pick something small, but it's to get the list for Santa, and she got the list. She's 4, but she's a hustler. She's like, yeah, okay, we're getting 5 things, maybe 6 things, maybe 7 things. She's like, fucking hell. That was good, but she picked up a lightsaber and she was like, this is cool. I was like, yes, it is. So she's picking all the right things, like Batman, Lego, fucking Batmobiles, and yeah, she's having a good time in Smith's. But then she got sick last night, so she was up vomiting, and between a sick 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, almost 1-year-old, teething, his front teeth are coming through. Like, it was an eventful night for myself and Ali last night, but I am raring to go today.
Actually, on the present front, a buddy of ours, Matt, who Matt, I think listens to the show the odd time, was telling me about his daughter doing her Christmas list up, and and they get it properly, fill it out, and put it in a little envelope and stuff. And so she's like, we'll sit down and we'll fill it out together. She came back to them with the thing already filled out, and she'd closed and sealed the envelope. And they're like, fuck, we don't know what's on it. Like, we don't know what she fucking wants for Christmas. So they said to him and the wife are fucking steaming it off, it's the kettle to steam open the envelope so they can get inside and find out what it is she wants. Like,
look, she didn't post it. Oh, I posted it yesterday.
Yeah, be a real shame if everything I asked for didn't show up. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. But that's all ahead of you. Happy days. So, before we get into our fantastic movie this week, we will touch on some news and then what we've been playing and watching. Any news catch you this week?
A couple of small bits. First one was a bit of casting news, which was Idris Elba being cast to play Man-at-Arms in the Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think Alison Brie is playing Evelyn, and then
sweet.
Camila Mendes is playing Tila. You know Camila Mendes? She was in Riverdale. Not that I've ever loved Riverdale, thought it was great or anything, and watched all the episodes.
She's pretty cool.
None of that, like. But yeah, and then another bit was our movie last week, Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott reckons that a 4-hour cut of it might get released. Are you ready for that?
Oh, God, like, just all the stuff I couldn't fit into Gladiator 1 and Gladiator 2, I've put into the director's cut. It's like,
I'm not sure if I could manage 4 hours. I'd have to watch it like a series and just watch an hour at a time, like, kind of thing.
It just made me want to watch the first one again. I've just seen it. I watched the trailer of the first one again. It just straight away, I don't think I want to see 4 hours. I'd love to see 4 hours of the first fucking movie.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck's sake.
So the only other bit I had then was so you might remember, like, back when the Resident Evil movie, the first one, which I have a soft spot for, and the rest of them are absolute garbage. But George Romero was supposed to do the first movie originally, and it just didn't pan out. So there's a documentary coming out on the 7th of January, and it's basically a Resident Evil documentary based on, like, George Romero's Resident Evil documentary, like what happened for it not to happen. So there's interviews with people who were involved in it, and I'm sure there'll be some early storyboard work or maybe some pitch ideas and all that kind of stuff. But there's a documentary out not too long away, 7th of January. But I think that'd be really interesting for the direction that could have gone. An incredible series of games and a great horror director. Like, what could have happened with that? And instead we got the tripe that we got, whatever it was, 9 fucking movies or some shit.
Is it 9 movies?
I don't know. It's not. It's not. Probably not as many as that. It's probably like 7, maybe 6 or 7. But still, they made a bomb. Like, they made an absolute bomb. Every time new one came out, they made an absolute bomb because it's fucking over the top zombie killing action. People would just go and see that shit. Like, and I've watched them all, despite the fact that I know they're absolute garbage. Yeah, just because, it is fucking Mila Jovovich blowing up fucking zombie heads. Hey, great. But yeah, that's it on my end. Is there any news for yourself?
One mediocre bit, one good bit. The Minecraft trailer 2 dropped, or the official trailer, which elaborates a bit more on the story, and there's a bit more Jack Black, and it's kind of serviceable. It's not as bad as the first one, but people are.
I hear he went full method on set, Jack Black.
Did he?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, he was a full method. A lot of people don't like that. I mean, I know some actors really get into it, but most people on set are not enjoying that. Like,
full method to play Steve in Minecraft, but they do.
I know. I just read it the other day.
Fucking bananas. Yeah, when you see the trailer, it makes no sense. But yeah, it goes into the backstory of Steve and how he was brought into this world and kind of created the world and all this kind of stuff. Looks like might be a bit of fun, but I definitely believe, like, the people online going, "Oh, it's a much better trailer." And it's because MGMT's "Time to Pretend," the song is playing over it. If you turn down the fucking music, the trailer just loses like a lot of its steam. It's just that music just lends itself brilliantly to that trailer. So this next bit, I didn't know what I was going to put into what I've been watching or news, because there was some buzz online about a new Star Trek short film releasing during the week, and recent TV outings. In my opinion, Star Trek's kind of going to the dogs, and so I wasn't rushing to see this. But then someone said, "But William Shatner is reprising Kirk in it." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he's 90 something, and it was only 8 minutes long as well. So I just fucking dived in, found it online, and it's fucking fantastic. It's unbelievable. There's no dialogue in it whatsoever. It follows Kirk, and he's kind of de-aged. It follows him essentially after his death in Generations. It's almost like he's going through the afterlife and just walking through, and he's just meeting characters and people from throughout his life, some pivotal people. Right. And then he comes across, like, he meets a younger version of himself, an older, and again, there's no dialogue. It's all just told through just looks and emotion, and it's it's a perfect blend of kind of glorious visuals and emotional impact. And the end of it, cool. Like, I was in tears at the end. This final few shots are just amazing. It's just like, oh my God. And it's just it's like revolving around the sad truth that, everything we know and love will be lost at some point, and your reflection upon that. And it's like Kirk's reflection. And it's amazing. If that's the last thing that he's involved in, like, rather than seeing him in fucking Generations dying in that way, which is pretty shit. It's just, it's worth it. We'll stick a link somewhere online.
Deadly, I'll check it out
myself. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, between that, and then I was going to say, before we got into what we were watching and playing, there was one tiny bit of feedback from one of our mates, Gav, friend of the show, who said he was playing Silent Hill 2 and asked were we playing it, would we play it. He said he finished it, and he said it was absolutely fantastic, but like 30 or 40 hours into it. And it got me thinking about this, the whole thing of if you know that a movie's really good, like I think he recommended Sinister as well in terms of horror stuff, to see if we could get through. And saying that, like, if you could get through Sinister, it's a really good movie. And I tried to get through it, and I got 18 minutes in, which is really good. And the first jump scare, like, fucking coffee went flying. It was just oh my God. And I was really enjoying it up to that point, and then it was just, just to tell Gav, there's no fucking possible way I'm getting through that. But Silent Hill 2 is another one that I was thinking of playing during the week. I've just got an itch to play a strong narrative game, and just reading the reviews, and it's supposed to be brilliant. And when Gav said that it was a really good game and he thoroughly loved it, never played the first one, but it's just something that you just look at the gameplay, it's just like, I wouldn't be able to get through that. Are there any games? There's no games you'd be scared of.
Well, no, I mean, like, I found Resident Evil 7 to be quite creepy. I mean, I find anything to do with, like, hillbillies and fucking creepy, those families, like If Hills Have Eyes, this kind of stuff. I find that stuff creepy as fuck. But yeah, like and again, it's that stalker enemy, the guy you fucking take down, and he still appears somewhere else. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Like Lady Dimitrescu in the Resident Evil 8, who you can't kill. You know, those kind of enemies, like you said, Mr. X. In Resident Evil 2. But like it's there are some definitely some games that would creep me out. But I haven't played the remake, the Silent Hill 2, just because I think I've mentioned recently I haven't touched any new games because I've been skint. Now I did get a new one this week, despite being broke, because I realized it was embarrassing how long it was since I played a new game. But we'll get to that. But yeah, no, I haven't played that, but it's on the list. I imagine once it hits onto the PlayStation store for a couple of quid less, I'll probably pick it up then.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks for that, Gav. With that out of the way, then we'll get on to what we've been watching and playing. So, what is this new game you've been playing?
Well, not super new, but it's the Space
Super
Marine
Mario
2.
Brothers 3.
I love that game. Space Marine 2. You know, I'm only just a few hours in, so I won't. I'm sure I'll harp on more about it next week. But it's good to fucking sit down and actually play a new game. So far it's great, nice and violent, and like I there's always going to be furore around these type of games glorifying this, that, and the other. But I just fucking thought it's just good fun. Like I mentioned before, I've painted some of the miniatures, never played the game, but I like the idea of the lore and stuff, and it's just good fun. And I played the first one back in the day, which is good. So yeah, no, it's decent, and I'm hoping now, once I've got work is finally done at my house. Thank God. I'm just dehumidifying everything. I rented out like an industrial dehumidifier yoke from the hire place. And it's so it's been on like, I don't know, 48 hours straight now it's been on. I'm just trying to fucking because so much moisture, man. I've had to empty the fucking thing like 6 times. I've had to take the water out of it and fucking dump it out because it's just so much moisture in the walls because the whole 2 rooms were skimmed, and the ceiling as well. So it's fucking just trying to dry it all out before it gets into the rest of the house, and I have to fucking get new walls or whatever. So, so once that's all sorted now, I'll treat myself, I think, to another couple of games, because I think I've only played a handful of new games this year. Like really, so when we do our top five new games of the year, I'll be like, Jesus, I only have 5, so I need to add a few more to the list so I can rule a few out. Then But yeah, that's apart from that and like fucking the usual Marvel Snap grinding. That's the only thing that I've played. Watched wise, I've watched a couple of cool things. The one I mentioned to you, which was the Our Oceans on Netflix, the Barack Obama. Man, it's really good. It's really interesting. Like it's like a lot of I wasn't too into his narrating at the start. Just thinking, okay, he's not really in. But as the episodes went on, I thought he got better and better. It's like a 5 episode thing. And it's I'm always amazed at how the people who make these get the shots. Like they're doing some incredible ones. They've got this joke on camera of an octopus firing bullets at fish to keep them away and stuff, like suck it in pebbles and shoot them like bullets of it. All the like little things like that have been caught maybe for the first time. There's incredible stuff. And these people are experts in their field. Obviously, these camera people and production people, but it's just
the patience of it all. I've read before of people, in the Arctic or whatever, just hiding in fucking snow for like 300 days just to get like some extreme, like 600 millimeter telephoto shot of a penguin, scratching its ass or whatever they're trying to get. And, they get it and it's like, I got the shot. But then in the show, they're just like, I got the shot, but that's 5 seconds of the show and another 100 shots. It's mind blowing.
It's really enjoyable, and just I love all that. Just the brutality of nature, and they kind of dance around. They don't use the word climate change. They don't use the words climate change, but they still hammer it home. He talks about the constantly changing or unprecedented changes, the constant that are currently happening, and the effect that it's having, without actually saying climate change. Because
have you noticed it's getting warmer?
Well, you'll scare some people off who are like, it's fake, it's not real. I'm not watching this shit. So they tiptoe around that, and they kind of they show the fucking effect obviously we have on the planet by the amount of plastic that's in the ocean, which is gross. But that's really good. And then I watched Doom Prophecy, the first episode of that as well.
Is it any good?
It's not bad. It's I guess like it's actually really good. It's just it's a lot more slower moving than the Doom movies, and I think that I don't know if that's why it's not doing as well, but I still really enjoyed it. I always find with these things like this, and like Lord of the Rings is another example. This is set 10,000 years before Paul Atreides
10,000.
is born. 10,000, right? And when we watch Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring, that's set 3,000 years after Isildur and all that kind of stuff. How has nobody made any technological advancements in fucking, like, whether it's 3,000 years or 10,000 years? It's just exactly the same. How are you still riding on a fucking horse after 3,000 years? But yeah, like that's a small beef of mine just with these kind of shows that they kind of do this weird thing with the age. And nothing happening, but it's good. It's good. It's great performances. I think that guy whose name I always forget, is it Travis something? He's in Vikings and all that kind of stuff. I see him popping up in loads of shit now. He was in Raised by Wolves and a bunch of other shit. His character's in it, and he's pretty cool. Mark Strong, we'll watch him in anything. He's great. He's finally aged slightly. I was looking at him and go, Jesus, you actually have aged. Because if he's looked the same for the last fucking 20 years. It's a good watch, and it's I'm hoping it'll kind of, as the episodes go on, it'll start to get better and better. Apart from that, I just watch the usual junk horror movies that I won't bother mentioning because nobody's ever going to watch them. What about yourself? Have you played or watched that and good this week?
Playing wise, a few things. I saw reviews for this game, a point-and-click detective game, Rise of the Golden Idol, online, and it was getting rave reviews. It's not something I'm normally kind of into. And it was a sequel to Case of the Golden Idol, which is 2022. And I was initially going to get the sequel because it's set in a kind of alternate 70s world, which is totally my jam. But then some people were saying that the backstory from the first game kind of ties in a little bit into this.
Oh, okay.
So they said maybe go back and play that game. But this game's set in the 1800s, and you step into the shoes of a detective, and you're trying to uncover mysteries of, I think there's like 20 deaths or 20 murders over 50 years, and they're all kind of connected. But it's a point-and-click detective game. Is essentially like, it's just a fucking screen, and you're just clicking around on clues. And it's incredibly compelling and engrossing and quite taxing on the brain, because later on you get multiple rooms that you can go into, and you kind of go and remember what's on that piece of paper, and then you're trying to find out, get all the information, and some of them are quite difficult. You essentially have to find like identities and motives and cause of death, and fill in a summary statement of what happened at the end. If this is how they normally go, that's perfectly fine. I don't think I haven't played one of these games since I was like a kid, and then you're totally turned off by then. Just point and click, fuck that shit, back to Mario. You know what I mean?
Now, is it point and click your character will move, as in like Monkey Island kind of thing?
You're on no character. It's just, you just have one screen, and there's a cursor going around. You don't even move. The character doesn't move anywhere. It's so basic, but it's fucking. I think there's 12 cases, 12 or 13. I'm about halfway through. I just did case number 6, and it's a perfect kind of pick up and play, where you can just go, I'll just give it a go, because it could take a half an hour to go through this thing, and it's really like nothing's happening. If anybody's watching you, just staring at a screen for 20 minutes, just clicking on that, just going, what the fuck is his name, and just why did he do that? It's fantastic. It's and the cases are really good. It's just like someone was burnt alive by something while people were sitting around to go through the will of somebody that died or whatever, and it's just the 7 characters, and straight away you're just going, what the fuck is going on? But then 20 minutes later you're like, I think it was that bitch. It's really, really good. But so between that, the new sequel is apparently 20 cases as well, so that's my puzzling taken care of for the next fucking half a year. But then, apart from that, I saw that there was an update online. I was telling you about Star Wars Outlaws. And I had played this through already quite recently on the Series S. Picked it up on Ubisoft Plus for like €18 or something. But the Xbox Series S, lower specs. Yeah, graphically it wasn't great. And the new update for this game was apparently a game changer. It's like new graphics, new animations, they'd rework the whole stealth, and it's no longer there's no insta fails with stealth. If you're caught, you can just try and shoot your way out of something. Stealth is still a thing, but yeah, a report that said that they removed it completely, and that's kind of incorrect. It's more that there's more player agency about what you can actually do in the game, which is a plus. And a lot of those early levels, I think, put a lot of people off because they're not a true representation of what the game is when it kind of opens up. It gives you a lot more choice in those first few hours. Some of the level design does seem pretty archaic, like. But there's stealth improvements, combat enhancements, enemy weak points, there's improved AI, there's loads of other improvements. And I was looking through the update and trying to justify it to myself, just like, right, okay, I'll check on Black Friday week, let's go. And I tried for, it's got to be down to some, because it's not selling, it's got to be down. And it's still full price, 80 fucking euros. So I hummed and hawed for
I think it came down since then, though.
Fuck off, did it?
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait in fucking one day, like. I love this game. I can't believe how mixed a reception it's getting, because you and me both, we go back to games we've played, a year or two passes and you go, Ghost of Tsushima, I'll go back to play that, or GTA. I've played fucking GTA 5, played that about 4 or 5 times
consoles,
through. But this is a game that literally I just finished about a month ago, and straight away I'm back in there with the improved graphics on PlayStation 5, and it's like, happy days, just love the world. So I've been playing shit tons of that.
And isn't that a shame, though? Well, isn't that a shame? Just on that, isn't that a shame that, because this game, maybe now after having this thing, if now was the time it was getting reviewed, it could probably do so much better if they fixed all this. It's such a shame that. Is this a case that it just wasn't play tested enough, that they, or what is the reason that they released it in its state and now they've managed to make all these great changes to it to make it a better game? Why was it released in the state it was released in? If this is a much better, I know you enjoyed the original. I'm not saying it was released broken like fucking Cyberpunk or anything.
I think it was just mismanaged from the higher ups. I mean, all the gameplay demos that they showed, they showed the wrong parts. It's later on in the game. When you get to Tatooine and some of the more iconic locations, graphically they're phenomenal. Some of the gameplay elements are amazing around that time, and it's kind of a different game than showing like, here's what you do at the start of the game. Which is a problem if that's a barrier for people, if people pick up a game and play. I hate that whole thing where people go, it's a 40-hour game, but once you get to hour 8 it gets good. I fucking hate that. I don't want to play through 8 hours of absolute fucking shit to get some. Not saying that this was shit, like the first 2 or 3 hours, it holds your hand a lot, and if you get caught on a stealth mission, it's just like you've been caught, fail, and you're thrown back to a checkpoint, which just in an open world game feels like that's very old school. But it is strange. It's the same with Stalker 2. We were talking about that during the week, that apparently is released, and it's just an absolute buggy fucking mess where people just loved it but just had to stop playing it, saying that like, I can't play, I'm shooting people in the head and they're just spinning off up into the air and glitching out, and just things not working, lines of dialogue in the cutscenes, just people are talking, there's no audio, that kind of stuff, that just not so much game breaking where it stops your progress in the game, but it's game breaking from a point of immersion where you're just going, I can't fucking play this, because that game is set in alternative Chernobyl, and really like kind of real setting, dark theme, and it's supposed to be, you really get invested in it. And if you're walking around and cars and stuff are glitching out and spinning around up into space, what the fuck? You can't really get into that. So it's the age old thing that like these games, same with Cyberpunk, these games are just, they kind of go, there's a day one patch, and then 3 months later they'll patch it properly, and then that's the game, or a year later it's the perfect game. Just like, but they must be under so much pressure from shareholders and to balance the books that they have to release these things, where it's unfortunate.
Shame, though.
Because gaming these days, you can do that because everyone wants, and me included, I'm an early adopter. I buy everything day one and then suffer the consequences for a few months.
Thank God for Nintendo, Nintendo's just this shit, you are not getting this until we have it fucking nailed down.
Absolutely.
Tough shit. And we just, and so it can be incredibly annoying, but at least I know whenever I get my first party at least, game comes out, it's going to be absolutely smooth as fuck. And but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. But watching wise, again, kind of nothing. I didn't watch the Mike Tyson, fucking Jake Paul fight. I know you did, but I didn't. But I did because I was searching some stuff around Mike Tyson. I got hit with the algorithm and a load of clips came up, and my wife too. Ali sent me a few clips. She's just like, I'm getting bombarded by these weird clips. There's 2 clips of Mike Tyson. There's one like hilarious where he's hugging, Hezbollah, the kind of
because he thinks he's a little kid.
He thinks he's a little kid, and he's just like, yeah, I'm playing with him and I'm tickling him and stuff. And he's just like, yeah, I didn't know he's a 26-year-old man. That's the funniest thing I'd seen all fucking week. And then there's another one where the caption is like, Mike Tyson forgets that he's talking to a child, and there's a little kid interviewing him and says, okay, so, I'm here with Mike Tyson, and, I've never got to see you fight, but I'm looking forward to seeing you fight this week. What would you like your legacy to be, as a fighter? And he's just like, legacy? Fuck legacy. I don't care about all that stuff. We're just going to die, Like, I don't care. When I die, I'll be dead. And he goes on this, 90-second rant, and she's like, okay, cool. I've never heard anyone answer a question like that. Cool. She takes it really well. But just like, fucking hell, man. He's so yeah, I'm gonna binge on Mike Tyson clips now up till Christmas.
Mike is great.
It's just
I think Conor McGregor started some shit with that little Hezbollah fella or Hezbollah, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, I think he was beat the head off him and stuff like that. I think they had a war of words or something like that. Yeah, I never thought I'd be taking the side of the little fella over fucking Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's like,
yeah,
never mind. We'll move on. I won't say anything else in case he comes to me house and batters me. So.
He'll find you. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get on to our movie review. And take it away, Phil.
Oh, my Jesus Christ! Like, I first of all, I will just the reason that we're doing first of all. Yes, but the reason we're doing it is we were looking at what was out. And really, there was Red 1, and we said it's too early to do a Christmas movie, and it's supposed to be fucking shocking. But, and then Wicked, as I said, was too long, And I know, despite me and you being huge Ariana Grande fans, obviously, we were both looking forward to this one, but it's too long. I'm not fucking sitting through that. So we said, let's just pick something that's out. And I happened to be, that week, was scanning through Amazon Prime and saw this absolute beauty of a poster. And if you've seen a poster, it is fucking rad. It is thrown together. This is my first time using Photoshop kind of thing. Like it's something I could even manage, and I can barely use Photoshop. Like it's fucking, and it has our, I was in love with it. I was in love with the fucking, the synopsis, the whole lot. And
well, I love with
the
poster.
Terrible. Like
with the poster where they have like the 3 people who are in it the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Bruce Willis's movies, like, and I'm obviously, we hope he's doing well. But Bruce Willis in the last few years, he wasn't even on set with any of the other actors, and they have him on the main, first listing, top bill, just to get people in, because they paid $1 million to have him there for the day, and then that was it. And what's her face? Denise Richards, who was in this movie, shot all of her scenes in 12 hours, and that was it. She was done. Which is hilarious. But for those of you who are new to the show, the way we normally do this is we'll do I don't think we're going to really do too much of a spoiler-free section, because it's not really, it really doesn't deserve it. But we'll just go straight into it. But me and Daz, as we were saying, Daz, at the start, that this is a sequel. I don't know if listeners have heard of this movie, which, geez, I've even forgot to say the name of it. Which is hilarious. It's fucking, what's it? Angels Fallen, Warriors of Peace. Yeah. But as is, Angels Fallen is the first one. That's how bad it is. I didn't mention a name. But yeah, in the first one, had so Michael Madsen and Eric Roberts in it. And I mean,
why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I love that they're 2 great actors that will just star in anything. You know what I mean? You'll see them in a great movie and do a great performance, like fucking, Eric Roberts is in The Dark Knight. Michael Madsen, you know, obviously a stalwart in the Tarantino movies franchise and stuff. Like, it's these are really good actors, but just they'll star in fucking anything. You're just like, I got nothing else going on. I'll give you a couple of days shoot. You know what I mean? Now this one went, I don't know about the first, but this one definitely went straight to digital. So I have no box office numbers, unfortunately. It was directed by the same dude who did the first one. Ali Zamani is his name. I think his I'm pretty sure he does some of the voice acting for the demons in this.
Yeah.
I think the guy who produced it has the same surname. It's probably like his cousin or something. I don't know. It's wild. So as Daz said, it stars Denise Richards, Randy Couture, and Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr.
That was the draw for me. Yeah, it's like, Cuba Gooding, what are you up to, buddy?
Cuba Gooding, what is going on? Like, talk about falling off. And like, they're on front and center on the poster, but they are all secondary characters who get. Cuba Gooding actually does get the most minutes out of the three of those, but I would have thought out of three of them, Randy Couture would be the one getting all the screen time because, you know, he wouldn't have, you know, Hollywood pedigree, at least of Cuba Gooding, not so much Denise Richards, but like I would have thought he'd be the main dude in it, but you barely see him either. But look, we'll give you the synopsis of this insane movie. So, called by a higher power, an Iraq veteran embarks on a mission to stop a fallen angel from raising an army of the dead to take over the world. So look, we won't do a spoiler section, but Daz, just before we get into it, give me your overall views or your overall of the experience, because like you, I was pissing myself laughing through so much of this. Like, it is it's fucking unreal.
I was surprised, and I applaud you that you said you sat through it in one sitting. I just couldn't. The first time, like you, I think I was about 6 minutes in, and I was trying to watch it obviously pretty late, and I woke up my kids just by laughing. My wife is like, "What the fuck are you watching? Shut up!" And it's like, sorry, I just like after just those last readings go I just can't stop because this is fucking it's just bananas. But I watched it in kind of four showings, four pieces. And this is just a fucking appalling movie. Like it's everyone involved should be ashamed of this work.
I absolutely love it. Like, I love how terrible it is. Like, this is one of the ones where like it doesn't deserve the spoiler-free section, but I definitely think people should watch it. I had a great time watching it because it's so bad. This is a so bad it's good movie. Definitely, like it's 100%. 100%.
Because even just thinking that people were okay with this being the movie or being okay at certain scenes and going, yeah, that's good, let's move on. Just like, what? No, like the budget of 3.2 fucking million quid. I really want to know. I was trying to find online how much of that went to the stars.
$1 million each went to 3 stars, and they spent 200 grand on the movie. Like.
Just like, it looks like fucking dog shit. Like, the script is just nonsense. Not even B movie. It's fucking C movie.
Don't ruin the ending though, because like I could not believe the end. Very very end. I'm dying to talk about that.
But like, the acting is pretty atrocious throughout. With exception to like Cuba Gooding Jr. does like some of the scenes, he actually manages to ground them with some believability to his character, and he's leveled with an incredible amount of expositional drivel that he has to deliver. One point in a car where he's just sitting in a car with your man, and he just gives it a weight where you're just like not that you give a shit about anything that's fucking happening or what he's saying, but you're going. I just kept going, fuck, you're a good actor. Like, you're really good. Like, this is dog shit, but you're really good. But this is, it's hilariously abysmal. It fails on every conceivable level. Like, the acting is awful. The script is absurd. The directing or lack thereof, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do. The cinematography is at times serviceable, but you can see what it's attempting, but it comes across incredibly inconsistent and lackluster.
Yeah, like especially some of the shots, like they try to pull off amazing shots.
It's like it's shot by different people.
Yeah, 100%. Like the start of it, they're doing almost like this kind of when they're in Iraq and they're doing the kind of like a bullet time thing at the start, but they do one where they do a first person shooter and they jump onto his gun as he comes
for a second. But
they only do it once for a second and don't do it again for the rest of the movie. I was like, you're trying to pull a Doom here, it's just
it's so inconsistent. It's so fucking all over the place. Like, but the music score is like literally it's essentially like action movie music bundle pack track 5 and 6. And just keep playing them over the fucking thing. It's just
what I will say for it, right, is that the Georgia, the sets that they wanted, because they shot in Georgia or Tbilisi, it's some of the locations are absolutely gorgeous. So they must have gotten those for dirt cheap, because some of the buildings and stuff, there's no reason for that to be the location. But they're absolutely the library that they're in at one point
is amazing,
and the mosaic ceilings all around. Like, these buildings are beautiful. Some of the locations are absolutely gorgeous. They're not sets; they genuinely are outside doing so, and they're really, really great. So they must, because the movie costs, I don't know how much of that money has gone to these main stars and that, but they must have gotten a great deal being able to shoot there.
Yeah,
because it's like these are really gorgeous locations that are wasted on this fucking bananas movie.
Yeah, and like some of the locations are really good, but then like some of the action scenes and set piece choreography are just laughable, and the props, when we get into the fucking props, it's just
I have loads of notes on that.
The most feeble and woeful choices. Here's Denise Richards with all her guns, and give somebody tiny little knives.
Your man's gun is pretty sure it's made out of cardboard. She keeps this gun like, this is for you, gun, and you can see there's no weight in it at all. You can tell there's no weight in it. Just try and act like there's some weight, like whoa, but nothing. You can tell it fucking weighs nothing. It's like that when people drinking coffee or something out of a cup on
and there's nothing in it.
There's no liquid in it.
You can
tell. Yeah, you can tell there's nothing in it. Like, I fucking hate that.
You're an actor, act, damn it. but like then the final elephant in the room is the visual effects in this movie are fucking miserable and just downright pathetic at times. It's just miserable. There are moments like you're saying when they're using actual locations, and it's really good, and it looks nice because it's shot with nice cameras and all that kind of stuff. But there are some scenes like where it's it's green screen, it's a 3D background, and it's so pathetic that like the actors they don't move from where they are. They just stand there and they're just little steps left or right. There's no interaction with anything. It's just like, stand there. We're just going to move the camera around like that. And it's like, I can do that on my fucking computer. I've done better stuff for music videos. It's just like, I think you probably do that on your fucking phone these days. It's just, you're looking at it going, wow, like you spent money on this CG background that just looks like a fucking picture, a 3D model, and then this guy just standing there pretending to look around at it and just like, but don't move this way because you can only move in this little square. It's just pathetic is the word, because you give people the benefit of the doubt. No one goes out to make a fucking shit movie and all that, but like with the visual effects, you're kind of going somewhat really bad. And when we get to the demons, like sweet Lord.
And because they make them interact, like, because if it was one thing where you just had to see this creature and it didn't look bad enough, and you're like, okay, that's shit. But when they have to have our actors get like smacked in the tail by these demons or hit and stuff, they're reacting to nothing, and but so evidently it's not like you said before, where you've got we'll make something big, massive tail, a green tail, and we'll superimpose it. There's literally nothing fucking there. It's all CG. And so, like, there's not the interaction between these CG people and the actual real people is just horrific. It's like watching fucking Mortal Kombat 3 or whatever the fuck. It's just it's so bad.
But yeah,
look, we'll get into it because it is so much fun, man. I laughed my ass off. The choices throughout are fucking gas. Like, anyway, look, we'll get into it because it's definitely it's going to be fun to get through, and just try. You can try and help push me along, because I'm going to get wrapped up in going into the minutiae of this because there's so much funny shit happening. So just push me along. As I said at the start, like this, it's based in it starts off in Iraq, and we've got these American soldiers, and it's this main dude and his team, and like straight away we're getting introduced to this mental fucking camera. They decided they wanted to use bullet time in fucking 2024, and they've got he shoots this one guy in the forehead who's not even moving. Like he's a what's it called, a sniper up on the roof, and he was, by the way, is probably the most annoying character in the movie. The sniper guy,
a fucking asshole.
And he's a prick, and he shoots the guy. The guy isn't moving. They just, because again, like you said, for the green screen thing, they have to have him stand where he is, and they have the camera zoom in. So he's shooting this, Iraqi dude. The guy is standing out in the open. And he just has his gun by his midriff, and he's just standing there still, as if he's like a cardboard cutout. And we see our guy sniping him, and he shoots him. The bullet fucking goes flying across, and like he's just standing out the open, and to do a bullet time of him, hitting him in the head.
Why doesn't he have his gun up? Like,
yeah,
it's a firefight.
And why is he just standing out in the fucking open? Like all the Iraqi dudes are standing out in the open. But like it's kind of a scene to kind of show the whole squad and what they're capable of. That your one is the Leah, is it? I think she's the medic, Leah. And then we've got our guy who's kind of the muscle and all this shit. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure as well the sniper who shoots that guy in the back, I'm pretty sure he's not even looking down the scope when he fucking shoots him with that. Like these people have never held even a toy gun in their hand before. Like it's so awkward. Like
it's so small scale. Like again, 3.2 million. Yeah. all the action scenes in this movie feature about 4 or 5 people just doing things to each other in a little location.
Like if you didn't know, you would think that Georgia had been abandoned because there's nobody around. Like they went to that nightclub later on. It's just a courtyard. There's like 4 or 5 other guys in the whole nightclub. Like it's fucking mess. Everywhere they go, there is nobody around. Nobody.
But the first shot. I was like, firstly, like even the intro logos, when the logos come on, they're all just the cheapest fucking looking things you've ever seen in your life. Just like, but the first shot, I thought, like, where it has the helicopter flying by with the aerial effect, you're kind of going, oh, that's a fucking nice shot. That's the best shot in the fucking movie. They probably spent 2 million quid on that.
Yeah, I was like,
that looks fucking excellent, and then the rest,
effect wise and everything, like it's two Black Hawk helicopters, and I was like, oh shit, man, this looks good. I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And then even your man
downhill from there.
Yeah, but like all the explosions and shit are going off, and your man just has his eyes closed, kind of ears ringing, kind of thing. And I was like, all right, this could be all right. The minute he opened, even the way he opened his eyes to snap back into reality, I was like, oh, he's shit. I was like, shit, like just the way he opened his eyes, like, oh, we're bad. This is a man who's not going to carry this movie, and he's our main guy. Like, but we're getting our thing on each guy, like each person in the squad, and then one of them cuts into one guy who's obviously a loose cannon, and he's shouting, "Shut up!" at a bunch of kneeling prisoners who aren't saying a word.
Yeah, they're not saying. Their backs are turned. They're not saying anything. Shut up! Don't move! Shut up! Just like, but they're not doing anything. They're tied up on the ground. Like,
and when we cut back to it later, he's gunned them all down. He's murdered them all. Anyway, the backup tanks arrive. It's fucking hilarious. They're trying to use all these angles, like we said, as like with the fucking camera on top of the gun to give a first person shooter and stuff. Like, but like, I am no army specialist. I'm gonna come clean with our listeners. I'm not an army specialist, right? But these lads are shocking at playing army guys. Like they're all going off solo. They're supposed to be a team. None of them are around each other to get each other's backs. They're all separate, spread out. They're not covering themselves. They're having conversations, leaning out through fucking doors. Like, you are an open target. Like, just at least clear the room first. But they're not even helping each other. Like, it's like a bunch of 10-year-olds playing paintball, just fucking running around, fucking shooting everything. It's mental. Like, they're not believable at all. Any of them as army dudes. It's so bad. Like.
And they're just there's a like. Just we talk about fucking geography of a scene from Zack Snyder's fucking movies, but like it just makes no sense why they're in that predicament. It's just like, oh, here we are, and they're behind their fucking Humvee Jeep thing with a big fucking gun on the back, but somehow that's parked somewhere. How the fuck do I would have to go in and reverse it into that space, then hide behind that when there's doors behind them, or you could go into a room, just run in there. Why is everyone where they are? How did they get there? Yeah. Why the sniper fucking leg it off over this way to get a vantage point at a small little yard, like in like an apartment? It makes no sense. And his line of sight, how the fuck he's seen anybody, is nonsense. It's just you talk about the scene for fucking. Like,
yeah, but it's only, and like you said,
it's just ridiculous.
There's only a handful of them, right? There's a bunch of the bad guys. Now, luckily, the bad guys don't stand in cover at all. They just stand out in the open, ready to get shot. But, like, there's only, is it 4 of them? 5 of them?
4 of them.
for them. Yet he's got like fucking 20 dudes round up and tied up as prisoners in a room. He's managed to capture all these. How the fuck did the four of you manage to get in? How is he in a room with 20 of these dudes all like down with his gun to their back? And yet the rest of the lads are all running around wild just outside the room. Why didn't someone come in and just fucking shoot him? He's on his own with his back to them.
Yeah. Again, it just makes no sense.
It makes zero sense. But anyway, at the end of our opening scene, our main guy, Gabriel, played by Josh Burdett, I think his name is. He gets you see him look around, he looks into a room, and all of a sudden he gets shocked at what he's faced with, and he lowers his gun. We don't see exactly why he lowers his gun, but from behind, a guy shoots through the window with like one single shot, but it's from a fucking one of those big M60 fucking monster fucking things. Like they're made for like they're fucking big, rattling fucking huge guns, big massive bastard gun. And he gets him with one shot, shoots him through, back hits him through the yoke, and then he wakes up and it's a dream. And like, okay, and so it's like he's got a scar from where the bullet had gone through him, and he didn't actually die. Like, okay, fair enough. And when he comes in, he wakes up, Cuba Gooding is in his gaff. And Cuba Gooding here, man, I'm not one to cast surgeons because I love weed, man, but this guy is blazed. There is no one convinced me that Cuba Gooding isn't stoned off his box. Like he's sitting there drinking your man's wine, and he looks like he's been hotboxing in his trailer. Like he's just like you might blame the bloodshot eyes on the weird fucking contact lenses they gave him to wear, but like he looks like he is stoned off his box.
Yeah. But but this is when we get like some dialogue from our main protagonist, and it's like, well, he doesn't seem like he can physically do the army thing. Maybe he's a good actor. Some of the delivery of his lines, it's just shocking because he hears like, Gabriel, your time has come. But when he walks into the kitchen, it's just like it's the most awkward fucking thing ever. He's just like, why are you drinking my wine and sitting in my chair? I was saving that for a special occasion. Just like, what are you doing? Some dude just fucking stuck into your house drinking your wine. Like, it's like he's acting to a fucking wall or something. He's just awful, and the whole movie rests on his shoulders. And it's just he can't. You know, they say like good acting is, being able to just react to a scene and not say anything. It's like this guy when Cuba Gooding Jr. is talking to him, and it cuts back to him. It's like he can't stand properly.
He's like Ricky Bobby. I don't want it to do it with my hands. Like,
it's like he's some terrified guy giving a fucking interview or something. Just like, he just doesn't know how to just stand. Just like, yeah, you've got a real problem because like this movie's going to demand a lot of you going forward, buddy. How the fuck did you ace the screen test or the audition? Yeah.
But isn't Cuba doing? I thought Cuba again. He's doing great work in this movie because he's given so little to work with, and the dialogue he's trying to be all. He's talking about the wine. He's like, "Oh, I smell fucking hazelnuts or whatever this kind of stuff," and he's sniffing the wine, and he's telling him about he needs him to join his. I guess time has come. I need you to join my whatever the fight for good and against evil. It's basically he's raiding, getting all the lads in Mortal Kombat together. Like wants to get together the good guys to fight the fucking holy war or whatever. But like he's doing his best. Like man, he's charismatic, and the dialogue is terrible, but he's owning the scene.
He's so good,
he's the best thing about the movie by a country mile.
But in that scene, like maybe he's really good because it doesn't look like he can see. He's so stoned. Like his eyes, like he's raising his eyebrows so much just to try and see out of his eyes. He's fucking baked to pieces. Yeah, so good.
There's no one convincing me he wasn't fucking stoned. Like he looks off as rocker. But like. I suppose you'd have to really, wouldn't you, if you're starting this one? I would, it was probably written into his fucking contract. Like, dude has to have an ounce of weed a day at the least. So that's our introduction where he's recruiting Gabriel onto his team, and now we kind of start getting the bad guy getting recruited. So this is our introduction to Randy Couture, and this is the lamest underground fight club. Like they're underground. It's just a bunch of dudes shouting, yeah, over and over again while these two dudes are fighting, and it's
about 10 of them.
There's about 10. It's like not even the full. It's just a bunch of dudes in like a random building. It's not gritty or anything. There's no. But they've got a referee, which is wild.
But they just keep shaking the camera as much as humanly possible, and then cutting to like you got the angry guy that looks like a skinhead, and then there's another guy who's like dressed as fucking a Nazi or something. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's just like, look, this is a mishmash of different cultures in this fucking cool fight club, and it's like, you put this beside just a simple, like, in the film Fight Club, when they have that little gathering outside the bar or something, and like, both with the same amount of people in it, and the difference between conveying an actual group of people having a realistic fight is astonishing. Like, it's just, I must put this clip up online. I have in my notes, it's just Fight Club, the hilarity.
Yeah, it's basically like someone doing a sketch of Fight Club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like someone doing like a Saturday Night Live sketch of Fight Club, you know, where you're expecting them all to break into a show tune or something. Yeah. It's shocking. And then so they're the two big dudes like that we don't see again are kind of they're just finished up the fighting, and the guy who comes on is like the referee kind of guy is like, well, so and so is still the winner. Let's call him Bob, and Bob is still the winner. We're gonna I assume there's going to be no one else who's going to fight. You can go and you guys can go and cash out at the desk or something. It's like, is this like an official place where you can go and get your bets, like a proper bookie? It's what fucking desk? You're in a warehouse, like, and so. But then of course he goes, hey, what about me? And Randy Couture shows up to have his fight, and like his manager is the least gangster person I've ever seen.
He's the best thing in the movie. Comically by an absolute country mile. This guy hasn't a fucking notion what he's doing. Like, he doesn't know what movie he's in. He's not an actor. He's certainly not a fucking comedian.
He's supposed to be like his manager, I guess, or something.
Badass black dude manager, and it's like
it's the least gangster I've ever seen. Like, he's not at all. Like, he's trying to deliver all these lines that you'd fucking expect out of like a typical kind of gangster. Like, but he's just. The accent, he can't get the accent right. He's obviously a proper well-to-do guy in real life, and he just has no idea how to act gangster. And it's so awkward as fuck. Every line he delivers is just, keeps calling people cracker, but he's not saying it, cracker ass guy, cracker ass is cracker ass, but he's not even saying it properly. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's just. You have to be seen to be believed. Like, I'm not. It's way funnier than I'm making it sound. But anyway, what about the music? What did you think of the music in this scene? Because they're banging out this fucking rock and roll or fucking electro rock and roll fucking heavy metal kind of tune, and the minute the fight ends, it just boom, just fucking cuts out. It's so bad.
It's like the editor went, "Oh, we get rid of that music." It's just like, what the fuck? What's happening? But it's when it's just the manager guy. Like, I didn't like. This is one of the scenes I actually watched twice because I didn't know what was going on. Because I was just laughing too much at him. But when they're back in like the main big bad arrives, and he like confronts Randy Couture's character, and he's saying like that he'll give him like a bag of fucking
a bag of gold,
and they're just like, oh yeah, and it's just from the script point of view, they're just like, yeah, it's not a bag of money, just have it like a bag of gold. And it's like, the fuck are these guys gonna do with a bag of gold bars? It's just like, oh god, like.
But his manager interact with him like, this is Michael, the archangel, turns out he's trying to fucking recruit for the bad guys, and like when he's talking to the manager guy. The manager guy again, you're going to get your cracker ass in there with these other cracker asses and stuff. Like, you are not selling this at all. Anyway, he ends up he challenges him to a fight, and he says, if you can land a single punch on me, whatever, I'll fuck off. You can have all that gold. But if not, then you're taking your soul. But the next thing that it cuts to, is this a flash forward or a flashback? Because the next thing you get to is him. There's an armor. They're Randy Couture. It's a bunch of masked dudes are.
Oh, the
robbing
heist.
an armored truck.
Yeah.
They're robbing an armored truck. And like, it's been funny till now, but this part, man, was the first time I laughed out loud because they're robbing the truck, and Randy Couture gets this one guard. Randy Couture takes off his balaclava, tells the guard to look at him, and goes, "Now you've seen my face," and then shoots him. Like, but no one has seen your face to this point. What was the point in that? Like, and then he does it. There's two other guys who were up against the wall, like as prisoners. He gets them to turn around and look at him. Then he goes, "You guys have seen too," and shoots them as well. No one has seen your face. Just leave your balaclava off and leave. What was the whole point of this? But I don't know if this was a flashback or what.
I think it has to be a flashback of what this person has done and why they're bad. I don't know what the point of it is, but like that heist scene, it's again 3.2 fucking minutes. Like it's just we just rent a van for the day and put it down like outside an abandoned building. What the fuck are they doing there? What money are they getting? Like, and these guys just turn up and just throw some smoke down and just get out of the van. And it's like the lamest fucking attempt. And it's just like, if heists were this easy, everyone would be fucking doing it. It's just so fucking poor. We go on about the acting and all that fucking thing all day. But yeah, I didn't know what the point of this was, because when it cuts back then, because like this is easy, obviously Michael has grabbed Randy Couture's hand and you see like gets black veins up his neck and all this kind of stuff, like he's being possessed or whatever. And then when it cuts back after this flashback, Michael is now Randy Couture. He's standing there and like he's sold his soul and he's kind of become him or something for a second and then kind of walks off. We get the manager standing there and he's just like, he goes, whoa. And he turns back to look at the bag, which is actually filled with rocks. then he turns the camera and he just goes, what the hell? It's you have to fucking I have to see it. But yeah, I rewound that 100 fucking times. It's insane. That was one of those moments where you just spit out your fucking drink, just going, oh my god, like it's hilarious. But that whole bit is just weird and kind of
I just wasn't sure what the point was if it was a flash forward to show what he's going to do. I guess it probably is. They're probably just showing bad stuff he's done in the past, and that's why he's recruiting him. So I'm going to skip the next couple of parts really quickly. As you said at the start, there's a part where they just want to show that Gabriel works as a mechanic, and so he's working on this Mustang, and again, Kubrick turns up and tells him you need to round up your squad from Iraq. The next parts then are just while he's rounding up his good guys. What's his face? Michael is off rounding up bad guys. He gets some guy who's like the
butcher killer. The personality
they're butcher
so
fella.
Bad.
Yeah,
like, they're just so
they're absolutely terrible. I'm not gonna spend time on them because these aren't funny. No. They're just shit. Like, so they gets recruits a sniper guy, tries to recruit the female, the medic, but she says she's not going. She's got shit going on. She has a sick kid. So he recruits, and the next guy was the guy who had all the guys in the room, who shot all those people. He's like a boxer. I'm just going to refer to him as Boxer from now on because I don't know his fucking name. But he's the guy who had all those guys and shot them all in the room. I think Paul. Okay, well, I don't know if he's acting it, but I don't know if he's acting it, but I'm pretty sure this guy has had some sort of brain injury, and he was painful to watch. Like, painful. So he recruits him, and he's a boxer / bouncer or some shit like that. And again, this is another laugh out loud moment. While he's recruiting him, they're both about to walk. There's a boxing. He's having a conversation while he's recruiting him. There's a boxing, bag behind them. But for some reason, your man, the boxer, isn't practicing on that because they probably didn't know how to cut the sound of it out or they had the sound right. So he's shadow boxing like this, while the thing is beside him. It's like, why don't you just get him to hit the bags right there?
And why, when you go to the boxing gym to recruit this guy, it's like, I need to chat to you, and they just go into this really, really dark, long room that just has one light and a bag. It's like student film stuff, just like, just get in there. But it's just like, if you're chatting to somebody and he's shadowboxing, will you just fucking stop and just trying to talk to you about saving the world? Like, will you fucking cop on? Like, oh, no, I'm gonna, whatever. She's like, he's hilarious.
But just before they leave, they're about to walk out of the room, and our main guy Gabriel turns around and hits the bag once, and there's this big scene of it, like zooming in the fist, and boom! And then I just fucking pissed myself laughing. Like,
you still got it, he says.
Yeah, my dog at the fright of his life. I was like, still got it.
But but the woman he recruits, she has. Because it comes up later on, she's like in a bath at some point. She says no to him, but then she's in the bath and she just goes under the water. And she just has a vision And that's her whole thing of just like, oh, she's a vision of some shit and some symbols or something. So apparently she's a seer or something. So that's why she. It's just like,
oh yeah, but
that comes back later on for no fucking reason whatsoever.
yeah, no, it doesn't. Like we don't even know like what was this shit happening to her while she was in like for the last 10 years. Was it happening in Iraq? We don't get any of that. But the scene transition here, Daz, and you must have loved because they go from now that he's rounded up his his other couple of guys, they go to this shooting range, and it's awkward as fuck. They're just out in the shooting range shooting targets, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna meet up because I'll see you at the rendezvous point. And Boxer guy is like, I'm gonna stay behind and practice, but I'll see you at the rendezvous point. It immediately cuts to they're in Tbilisi. Like there's no like we have to get traveling, we have to get our gear. They're just standing around like by a river or a canal or something like that. How the fuck did they get there? Was that the rendezvous? But what the fuck is going on?
One just arrives because the three of them are there, and the lady who didn't go but had the visions
Leah,
or whatever.
Yeah,
they're just chatting, and she just walks up, just how the fuck did you find them? Like what? Like,
like I had a vision. No, had a vision. But they're like, oh, get a Leah, you son of a bitch! I can't believe you decided to come. They're at like a nondescript fucking place, by the side of like a canal in the middle of the city, which again, no people around. And she just fucking shows up like, do you think I'd miss this party? It's just, it's bizarre.
But like her visions then, like, because they arrive and they don't know where to go, whatever. But your one Leia is standing in the bathroom and she's filled the sink, and she just looks in the mirror and she goes, "Okay, let's see." She dumps her head into the sink to get another vision. It's like, how do you know you can do this? Like, is this something that you know you can do, or is this just because you went in the water in the bathtub that now you can bring this on? So she sees all these symbols and stuff, and like they then meet in a bar or something, and they deduce this whole plot.
Oh, the easiest code of all time. Yeah, it's the most dumbest thing. The letter D, the name Lila, and then the neon thing. And like, what if it's Delilah? Oh my god!
Why did you manage to crack Delilah then? It's just like, no, an ancient Georgian symbol that she saw
is the Georgian for D.
Then name Lila, and then a neon thing. It was just like, well, why wouldn't the vision just tell you Delilah? Oh, it's just like, ridiculous. The scriptwriter just going, oh man, I'm up for award season this time. Yeah, fuck me.
This whole reason they're looking for this code is they're trying to find these warriors of peace, which are guys who are on the same fucking team. Let's fucking they've been fighting the bad guys for years. They know all about
these guys are.
Yeah, but they have to go here. That's the next scene. They're in the nightclub scene, and they're going in looking for the warriors of peace in there after the vision. The nightclub called Delilah's, and they go in, and there's this big. Like they go in, there's about 10 other people in the whole place. Like it's empty as fuck. They've rented this place on like a Wednesday morning or something to use it when the nightclub isn't open. There's nobody in there, and they're not like, once again they split up, not watching each other's backs, and then all of a sudden it kicks off. There's a really awkward scene with a sniper and a stripper. I won't go into. It's just horrific acting. And then they kick off, and they're all having, again, like happens throughout the movie, they all have really separate fights. I'm going to fight one guy over here, you fight one guy over there, you fight one guy over there.
There's never more than like 4 people in a shot.
Yeah, exactly. But just film them individually, stick them all together. It'll make it look like there's a bunch of people there. The Warriors of Peace jump in and help them, and they defeat all the bad guys who are, these guys have been recruited by Michael, their fucking Legion, and all these other fucking holy ass names.
One of the Warrior Pieces backstory is like the sniper asks him, like, so how did you end up here? Whatever. It's like he says, like, well, I was a cop back in the day, and I came across this druggie who was acting much worse than a druggie would actually act.
Yeah.
Turns out he was possessed. It's just like, that's his reason. It's like, okay. What the fuck? Like, you write that on
there was definitely, I think there's something going on, but do you think there was something going on between the two of them? They had a bit of chemistry, I thought.
Very homoerotic vibes throughout the movie.
Good for them. But the whole story is when they're doing that part you're talking about, they're all given their backstories. One of them is a priest. One guy's a priest. One guy just doesn't seem to like them. I don't know. He's just like, stop telling them your backstory. Stop telling them what's going on. He doesn't really have any other lines apart from being snarky at people. So Leah says she's found someone and doesn't say how, doesn't say where exactly she is, but it's Denise Richards, and we go to her. And like you said, Daz, it's basically a room with some black fucking curtains thrown up around the place. And it's her weapons at a table. I'd say a load of weapons. It's probably half a dozen weapons. Like she's basically, they're trying to make her out like fucking Q from James Bond, you know, with all the fucking shit. You're going here to get armed.
But they're all weapons that can kill demons. And it's like, how does Leia know her? How did I know someone? She deals weapons that can fight demons, and all these angels use her all the time. Like, how the fuck do you know that?
and why is she in Tbilisi? Why is that where her office is? Just in the middle of town? Like, she's in this building that's just this open room that's just black, apart from her and her rack of guns. Just fucking, how did they know she was there? It's absolutely bananas. And again, this is one of the few scenes she's in. She pops up again. She's given them all their weapons. Gabriel gets a pissant little sword. The sniper, this is the bullshit excuse she used a sniper to give him these little knives. She says something along the lines of like, snipers should use knives because then you don't need to reload, or something along those lines.
Save your ammo, but she gives him tiny little.
They're like shurikens that fucking you get like in Shinobi, these fucking two things. But like she only gives him 2 of them, and not only that, he's an expert sniper. How do you expect him to all of a sudden be an expert knife thrower? And he's fucking holding these things every battle. He's holding them up here as if he knows what the fuck is going on. It is ridiculous, man. It's fucking
and everyone
insane.
Like for people that are enlisted to save the world and the warriors of peace, their new mates pretty shit at what they do, but these guys are awful. Like, they just like, if this is the hands that the fate of the world is in, it's a fucking piss poor attempt. Like, they're just all really shit at what they do. And why does that work? Just why are you giving little fucking toy little knives?
These are all experts at using like guns. I suppose these are in the army, so I'm sure some close quarters
she has
combat
guns behind her
and stuff. She has
big
guns. They don't get any guns. Instead,
that would be a lot easier. There's a grenade launcher on the wall. Just give one of them the fucking grenade launcher.
But like, they give him stuff they're not proficient in at all. Like, man, giving that main guy a sword, he has a machine gun at the start. That's what he's able to use.
It's a basic sword.
It really is. It's comically small. Then they give your one like a bow and arrow. What the fuck is she going to do? How do you know she's going to be an expert with a bow and arrow? Your man, the 2 little knives. It's just, you're making this way more difficult than it needs to be. You know what I mean? But so anyway, look, we'll move on quickly because I know we're already spending way too long. So they don't really know. To be honest, they don't really know where they're going half the time, because when they meet Cuba Gooding, he's basically just talks in riddles. It's like, this movie could have been so much shorter if you just told them where they had to go. But he shows up and says something, with like a cheeky smile and sends them off on their way. Just tell me where to fucking go.
Yeah, because he says something to him about about music, and he's just like, they say music is the key to the soul or whatever, and that the demons can't hear music and it's just words with them. And he's like, okay, what does that mean? And Cuba Gooding Jr. is just like, well, do I have to spell it out for you? And then he proceeds to not spell it out for him and just says, you're getting closer. And then the guy's like, okay, well, you talked about words. Library. Let's go to the library. And just like, good man. Yeah.
And again, it's just so they can shoot in this library, which, as we said, is absolutely gorgeous. I must look up the name because it's a beautiful building. They have a fucking fight in there with some dudes and the CGI. Is there a CGI monster here as well? Maybe, I don't know. There's just some terrible CGI fight. They tried to do one of these 360 like Avengers kind of style and all that, and it just looks fucking shocking.
Yeah, they spend 5 minutes. The fight is about 30 seconds. They spend 5 minutes just walking around the library in silence, just like. Just obviously to show the library. Yeah. But
they're fighting these demon legion fucking thing in a terribly choreographed fight, and the good guys, what they call the warriors of peace, show up and save the day, and they get a clue then from one of the demons before it dies that he says something in Latin, and when he's fucking saying it back, he goes, wait, did you say so and so? Because that's the word in Georgian for this fucking place up the mountain. That's head up there. So off they go, right? And they're heading off into the mountains. They're hiking for like a good while, hiking off up there.
Snowy mountains.
We have a big, we won't go into it because we kind of covered at the start, but there's a big terrible. They get ambushed by these CG creatures. They have a terrible fucking fight with them, and then they wind up in this place that's got like like almost immediately this place has got all these ornate rooms with like fucking beautifully glass mosaics and stuff like that. But then he has to go back, like they get back into the city to get individual scraps, like minutes. Like he goes back, she goes back to see the Denise Richards. He's gone back into the city straight away. They've just been in the mountains. Like how the fuck did they get back down? There's no talk about how they got there. Anyway, they get back because the fucking priest is being stabbed. They get back into the city, and the Boxer's like, you know what? I'm out of here. 100%. You're like, he's gonna fucking show up later. Like, there's no way he leaves. It's like you're one at the start. You're like, she's definitely gonna show up. Yeah. But they're all off individually getting into their little individual scraps. There's a scene with the motorbikes is fucking ridiculous. What did you think of this scene?
Yeah, I don't know why, because there's this guy that he sees that vanishes a few times earlier on in the movie, and it's like, what the fuck? But then when he chases this guy and turns around the corner, and he's standing there, and it's just two guys on motorbikes, just like, well, why? And then this is Paul and the fucking sniper guy start chasing after these guys on motorbikes. I don't know why they lured them here and then they flee. They just try and run away. The guys or they try and cycle away. So Paul and sniper guy chase after them in the like probably the most boring and inept action scene I've ever fucking seen. Nothing happens. But they keep running after these motorcycles, and they show another shot, and they're running after them, catching up to them, and just like, what is happening here? Like, it's just it's just a perfect example of like we've fucking no budget left. Like,
and it's because it's shot on the one street. Like it's shot on the one street. They're constantly just cutting them. Just different cuts of the exact same street.
Yeah, not only do they chase after them and catch up to them, but Paul, fucking bouncer dude, somehow manages to, I think it actually looks like he didn't even plan this. He accidentally walks backwards onto another street and a motorbike guy comes, so he just does a...
Oh, no, that's not... Sorry, this is the guy who used to be a cop. Yeah,
kicks him off the bike, and you're just like, oh, wow, that was very convenient. But it's just...
That would have broken your leg, by the way.
Yeah, it's so lame. It's just so cheap. Like, that's the thing. It's just, they obviously rented this location or just go, we can shoot here for, 4 hours. Let's just shoot everything here for the next, 10 minutes on this one fucking street.
Which once again, nobody about. Nobody about, no Georgians about at all. But anyway, they all get together after their little scraps and they head off now. Now they're in the fucking forest. And they're, again, I'm not entirely sure why, but they're still out this because they still don't know where the fuck they're going. They're ending up in the forest, and all of a sudden, there's demons show up in the forest, but then for some reason just leave. Like, it's a big fight about to kick off. They just leave, and then our boxer fella turns up. Shocker, the guy who had left and said he was going away. Mm-hmm. Straight away, you're like, okay, obviously he's a bad guy. Like, he's appeared. How did he know they were there? And one of the guys even says it. One of the fucking Warriors of Freedom is like, you can't trust him. Don't believe a fucking word he says. He's obviously a bad guy. He's gone. He's come back. He's obviously a bad guy. But instead, Gabriel, who's supposed to know him like a brother, goes up and hugs him and is like, come on, let's go. You're with us. It's like, what the fuck? Like, we know he's a bad guy. Your own team know he's a bad guy. You fucking idiot. Anyway, they go off and they walk up into this other gorgeous fucking temple again. Mm-hmm. No one, thank God, no one seems to be around this temple either. And shocker, the boxer is actually Archangel Michael in disguise, and he explains that he's been Michael the whole time. Like at the shooting range, after they left him alone, he had shown up and killed the boxer and took over. And man, this is hilarious because they're trying to do bullet time, and the boxer guy is fucking shooting, and Michael's like, moving out of the way. But as he gets closer, they don't even sync them up. Like, he's getting closer and closer. He's shooting the gun like this as if it's pretending the gun is going off. And your man is doing this reaction, but it's like a good... It's a good half second out. Like, it's real bang, and then...
You've taken a bullet to the chest there.
It's insane. So he's been the whole guy. He sets his fucking CG monsters up on the... against their good guys again. There's a bunch of one-on-one fights, a bunch of back-to-back fucking scenes of
the monsters,
but nothing happens.
Like the demons in this are just so fucking it's so bad. Like if you think of something that's you'd see something better in a fucking TV commercial like from 20 years ago. But there's like one bit where, like the guy with the small knives is going around and trying to fucking kill people, and a demon goes behind him and just gives him a bear hug. It's like, what? And then just kind of throws him to the ground. It's just, no, you're just going, for fuck's sake. Like, it's just, he doesn't look competent in any way at all in this. It just looks like he's scared and doesn't know what he's doing. Just like, fucking fate of the world. Oh,
but in the middle of this fight, like our priest, after getting mortally wounded, like he's dead. It's the second time he's been fucking stabbed now, so he's definitely brown bread this time. Cuba Gooding shows up, right, and takes Gabriel, like shows him this alternate, like shows him the future basically if they lose. So like the big battle's going, your mates are all getting killed, and this is when fucking Cuba shows up and goes, look, this is the future, and they show him this kind of hellscape. The world is all destroyed. Actually looks pretty decent enough. Yeah. Like,
they're the scenes where they can't move, where they're just standing still in the scene.
It's not too bad. Like, it actually looks decent enough. And again, this is just it's more exposition from Cuba Gooding, and it's just good acting. Terrible dialogue, but just good acting. And he snaps back into reality, and now he's got his faith in God back, because beforehand he still didn't believe at all. He's got his faith in God back, and Gabriel, the battle is still raging on. He has a one-on-one with Michael while the rest of the gang are fighting the CG monsters. But because he believes in God again, his sword now, which wasn't lighting up in flames because he's a believer. It's his. It's the sword. We're using sword as doing some heavy lifting here, because this thing is just a big, larger knife.
It's a dagger.
It's a dagger. Yeah. So
it's so tiny.
So he pulls out. He pulls out because like Michael has been battering him until now, but now that he believes in God, he pulls out the sword. It's got loads of flames, and fucking wings open up. He's got wings which open up behind him. It's like, oh shit, he's going to be able to fly now. Yeah. Next, it cuts to Michael, cuts back, and the fucking wings are gone. They're just gone. Nowhere to be seen.
Back in, and there's no it didn't break his shirt. Anything. No. It's like
wings are gone.
Couldn't afford
just forget about it. No, they just put it in for 2 seconds and then they're gone. He goes over it. He stabs Michael with the flaming sword. Then Lucifer shows up and fucking as a CG fucking thing and starts lecturing fucking Michael about failing him. And Cuba shows up as well. And they're basically like, hey Cuba, hey Lucifer. Like they have it like a nod at each other, like we'll see you again. It's basically setting up the sequel. So the team all meet up, right? The team all meet up, and then fucking Force Ghosts. I'm sorry, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, this is the end of the movie. It's the fucking ridiculous. Force Ghost. Gabriel turns up, and Gabriel goes like, "I'm dead, aren't I?" And then it cuts back, and it shows the scene in Iraq where he's got shot through the stomach, but the thing he was looking at was actually this little girl, and the bullet went through him. And you think it goes through him and hits the girl, I assume, as well. And so they're saying that.
But then it shows him on the ground.
It shows him on the ground, and they're saying, "But he's been dead the whole time." It's like, hang on a fucking second. How has he been dead for 10 years, but he's been working as a mechanic? Like, he's interacting with people. Like
he has a job.
He has a job. He has an apartment. Like, he's drinking beers with one lad.
He talks to people.
The manager
talks to a little girl,
he's the manager of the fucking. The mechanic place is talking to him like he's a corporeal being. He's there.
Yeah.
Like he's not,
because he says like I've been dead, but I didn't. It's because I didn't accept it and I lost my faith. And just like, so if you just lose your faith and don't accept that you're dead, you can just go on and fucking work.
You're immortal. Like if Cuba Gooding hadn't have shown on, could he just gone and lived forever? Like if he had to go and start going, right, I need you. If he had to go, no, look, I'm not in. I don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't believe in God.
I don't seem to be aging.
I don't seem to be aging. I'm just going to cash out on this for a while. I'm going to open a savings account, and in about 2,000 years, I'm going to go, and the interest in that shit is I'm going to be fucking loaded. I'm just going to chill. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm immortal. Like, it's bananas. How the fuck has he been dead the whole time? That makes no fucking sense at all. So he goes towards the fucking light, and off he goes to become a whatever. 100% we're setting up another movie, but it's just bananas.
Like, throwback to when Leia's in with Denise Richards and they're all given their weapons, and she's given this little blue vial of something. It's just like, know when to use it, And does she use it on the guy who cut his hand?
I think that
she looked at it and she never used it at all in the movie.
I thought she was going to use it to save her kid, because they show the kid in her vision, and they show the little blue vial. I was like, oh, so I think that's what she used it on, because when we go back to, we get a cut to the future, like whatever it is, weeks later or something. And she goes by, and she's delivery yet, because her kid now has a full head of hair, whereas she was bald before because she was going through chemo. So I assume she just gave it to her kid, and now the kid's grand. And that's it. Like, that's the end of the movie, man. It is wild, and the payoff at the end, or the reveal at the end that he's been dead, makes no sense, because obviously he's made it back from Iraq. The team must have got him medevaced out. He's gone back from Iraq, got back from the war, got himself an apartment, got himself a job, interacts with people. Like, he's buying groceries. Like, he's doing normal dude stuff. Like, how is he dead? Like, it just...
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, are we supposed to go, oh, well, what a reveal? It's like, no, that makes no sense at all.
How did no one, when someone was writing this, and like obviously it's written by fucking director, probably, and his brother or whatever, and just like kind of went, it's like no one proofed it whatsoever. He just went, that's fucking cool. Where if you show it to anybody, they go, yeah, that doesn't make sense, dude. It's just like, but everything through the movie doesn't make fucking sense, but like everything just from the angel's wings on was just like, oh lads, come here, like, you know what I mean? Even it's just give us some kind of payoff or something. The final battle is awful, and it meant to bring up this fucking movie trope that you see in a lot of action movies or fighting movies, even Rocky, stuff like that, where he's getting beaten to pieces. Then his sword glows, gets his wings, but then he beats Michael, but he doesn't beat him by beating. He beats him because Michael, who seems to be a badass martial artist, he just stops being a martial artist. Like, he's blocking everything and dodging everything, and then suddenly he just doesn't do anything and just gets hit with punches and doesn't do anything. So like, yeah, it's like, it's not like Gabriel's become this fucking epic being. It's just this movie trope. It's so lazy, and I just look at it going, that's fucking bullshit. Come up with something that you... It's
the exact opposite of Neo and Mr. Smith at the end of the Matrix, when all of a sudden, it's not that Neo he's evolved. That's why he's got bam blocking him, and he's just doing it better. He's doing it with one hand, because he's suddenly, now he can see everything, and now so Smith's still throwing all his amazing punches. But Neo has evolved to something higher. Yeah. Whereas the opposite. Can you imagine, if the end of the Matrix was that Agent Smith just stood there, and Neo just went up and just started punching him.
He just stood there and
punching him, and he's going, I'm in shock. I don't know what's going on.
How did he do that? Just somebody just stops doing what they were doing 5 minutes ago. Like, that's not fucking progression of character. Like, it's just fucking nonsense.
I like, despite the fact that I am giving this 1 star because it's a bad movie, I recommend that everybody sees this movie, because it is so ridiculous, so much fun. Like, it's laugh out loud in parts. It's an absolute showcase of terrible acting, terrible effects. Like, the story is all over the place. Like, it's just everything from the movie poster to the fucking very end of the credits it's just ridiculous and has to be seen by everybody.
Yeah. So what would you give it star rating?
I'm going to go 1 star, because it's a bad movie. Like, it's not just because I enjoyed the hilarity of it. There's like half a star maybe. Like, there's barely any redeeming qualities in this thing. Yeah. Like, it's terrible. Like, Cuba Gooding is probably gets the star. That's why it's got a star. Because he's doing his best. God bless him. But like, it's a mental movie. Like, I have to go back and watch the first one. 100%. I can find the first one. I was
thinking of my notes. Last thing is just like, watch the fucking first one, just to be ready for the so we know what's going on in the third one as well.
What would your star rating be of this little movie in the trilogy?
Probably half a star, just because I thought it was hilarious. Well, I don't know if you can give 5 stars. Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. And if you treat this as a comedy, you could almost give it 2 stars, because it's like, I had a ridiculous amount of fun watching this, far more than, like, it's cringe and it's painful to watch, but on reflection, it's just like, it was, I haven't laughed that much in quite some time.
At a non-comedy movie.
Just baffling that someone can make this and just go, this is great. It's absurd. It's abysmally funny movie, I think, which is great. So definitely, so go and see it. I wish it was on in the cinema. It would have been an absolute treat. So yeah, thanks for that, Phil. That was a lot of fun. My cheeks are fucking burning. That was great. We could have chatted about that movie for
I
4
skipped
hours.
over a lot.
Easy. We'll do a Ridley Scott cut on that. Do a 4-hour review of the third one when it comes out. So yeah, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Middle Aged Geeks. Thanks a million to everybody for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting, and keep the feedback coming. Over the next few weeks, we're probably going to do a Christmas movie. We might we'll be tackling the Game Awards soon as well. We might do an episode on that, and
we definitely want to do our end of year. What
I'd
be interested in, if you, because we'll probably do that as our last episode, say before Christmas. So it would be cool if we got you guys at home send in some of your top fives for your top 5. We're going to do movies, games, and TV shows like last year. Send in yours. We don't have to see if any of them match up. Would be cool. But yeah, send us in what you think your top picks are. And like, again, it's just what your favorites are. We're not picking what's the most beautifully directed, artistic, whatever thing, because but this is just what was your favorite, most enjoyable stuff that you played or watched this year. And that'll be a fun episode.
Let us know if Angels Fallen, Warriors of Peace makes it into your top 5.
Oh yeah, please watch that and let us know what you think. I'm dying to hear it.
Super duper. So that's a wrap, and we'll catch you next week. Ciao.
Take it easy.